Thought I'd put together a cool video for you today, guys. Just following up on my last video, which was about how to reprogram yourself so you can succeed at life and bowls and whatever else. I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks. It's a very serious topic. It's not one that I really want to joke around or anything like that. And the main thing with this video is I actually want you to take action with what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm just doing some shooting in the office today. I thought I'd actually just bring some of this to work because I'd be quite keen to just make some more content for you. There's one key takeout that I really want you to understand and to apply from this video. And if you watch through to the end, I'll explain it all in detail. And what that is that your conscious mind is running on a program. And I just want you to think of like an old Commodore 64, for instance. The old Commodore 64, it might be running on DOS or whatever the first operating system was at the time. And I want you to think of yourself as a computer that has a program that is set to have a certain output. So if you're a Commodore 64 and your output is set to, say, you being a club champion, for instance, whenever you end up in a situation where you can go beyond the program actually won't let you, because the program is like a switch. It's like a yes or a no, yes or a no. And when you get up to that threshold of going outside of the program crashes and it basically shits itself and won't let you do it. So one thing I realized back, would have been over a decade ago, was that there was one thing that kept happening to me over and over again, and that is that I would enter a tournament that, say, I'd never won before, which might have been a certain event like a regional championship or the final of a club championship or the final of like a state championship. And what was happening over and over again is whenever I got myself into a situation where I hadn't won an event like that before, a prestigious one, like a group title or something like that, was that I'd play exceptionally well all through the tournament, and then I'd get into the the semi-final or the quarter-final or whatever, and my form would completely disappear. And it was really strange because I didn't feel nervous or anything at the time, but I just couldn't find my form. It's like I'd go through the early rounds and I'd just blitz it and I'd be all over it, and you'd win, 25-10, 25-8, and you just monster it. You just play incredibly well, consistent, really good bowls. And then as soon as I got into this quarterfinal stage, it's like your form would drop away, and it's just like you just couldn't get it going. And it's sort of like, and the more you try, the worse it'd get. Anyway, so just a bit of a backstory around that. I eventually learned that, hey, if you find a way to get through that event and win that event, what you'd find is the next time you actually got to a tournament that was of a similar type of prestige, say the second time round with a club championship after you've won a previous, what would happen is you would then just blitz it, because you'd then have an expectation of winning because you've actually won one before. But the trick with all of this stuff is, how the hell do you win the first one? So your first club championship, how the hell do you do that if you've never done it before? Because self-sabotage and that computer program like I was talking about, I guarantee will actually hold you back and will make it so that if you're operating outside the program, it will literally throw an error and get in the way and block and self-sabotage you. So what I found was that if I could somehow reprogram this computer, which is my conscious mind, that next time I actually went into that tournament, and if I believed at a core level that I had already won that event, that I would play to the form to win that event. And that happened. I've won quite a few club championships. I think I've won about 5 club championships, although I haven't played much in the last 3 years because the business has really grown. That's been a focus. And regional championships was the same, or group titles, won the first one, then won multiple, and then got up to state or national, won the national title, and then the next time I actually entered a national event, which was the New Zealand Pairs, won the New Zealand Pairs. And that's because the paradigm was already set. I'd already knew I was a national champion. And that the next time you go in and you play to the same sort of form that you need to actually win it, because that's your belief set. And you find that a lot of the time with world champions, they win one world title, they win multiple. Like you look at Jack Nicklaus or Ben Hogan or these people like Roger Federer. The reason they win 20 Grand Slams is because they've already won one before. They know and they believe at a deep core level, and the program is set that they're going to be a winner, and they go and they execute accordingly. So the main takeout from this video is I'm going to actually give you the clue that you need to set the paradigm before you've done it. Now, I've done a lot in hypnosis in the past, and it might sound like hairy, fairy, mumbo jumbo, whatever. However, the stuff is actually extremely real. A lot of it came out of black ops and secret government programs back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And the reason why I got into it is because I was really interested in how I could reach peak state and how I could actually get the most out of myself. So that led me down a rabbit hole where I was studying Milton Erickson, the guy that founded and actually invented the term hypnosis. And what he was doing, he was working on psych wards, actually helping people that were cast into psych wards that weren't allowed actually out into the general public because they were deemed completely unfit for any sort of general public integration. And he had so much success with them that these were people that were, in straitjackets, locked up, completely drugged, and he had so much success with some of these people actually released back into the public. Anyway, so what he'd found was that you can brute force attack your unconscious mind, because it's your unconscious mind that is relaying the stuff to your conscious mind. So the unconscious mind is the true program that is running, that is dictating everything that happens to you in your life, everything from addictions to how do I feel about certain TV programs to what type of foods you like to all of your addictions, all that sort of stuff. And what hypnosis is about is if you can scramble the conscious mind with 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information at once, that you can get direct access to the unconscious mind. And so that scrambling is done through techniques to confuse the conscious mind, so the conscious mind actually turns off, like a program turning off. Now, in this video, we're not going to get into hypnosis in terms of, I'm not going to do any of that for you. However, you can brute force attack through the conscious mind as well. And what that comes down to is if you really want something or you really want to achieve something, what you have to do is you actually have to write it down, and you actually have to verbalize and say it to yourself for at least 30 days in a row. It's very deeply connected to obsessive behavior. Have you ever met someone that is like in business, for instance, and they're just obsessed about achieving this goal and building this company, and all they do is work and focus on this company for a long period of time, put their heart and soul and everything into it? The reason they succeed is because they've programmed the unconscious mind over a period of time, so that whenever they're not working towards that goal, they get anxiety. They get anxiety, fear, they get all of these really bad feelings, because this program works on 2 sides of the coin, right? It helps you move towards your goal, but when you're not moving towards your goal, it causes all of those things that were holding you back previously. So it's like pouring nitrous on yourself in terms of achieving what you want to achieve. So what I want you to do is I want you to start to think about, okay, what do I actually really want? Do I want to win in club singles? And if you do want to win in club singles, I want you to write it down every day, and I want you to verbalize it, and I want you to stick it up somewhere where you can see it every single day. And I promise on my life, if you actually do this and you do it for longer than 30 days, 45 days, 50 days, 60 days, that everything will change. You'll get to that event, you'll be confident, your form will just go through the roof, and you will win that event. So I really want you to take this seriously. I want you to start to write things down, start to focus, because we are creatures of habit. And if you do it for more than 30 days in a row, it will stick. And it's the same with quitting smoking, and it's the same with making money in the business. Because this is the thing that I've done with the business, is in the reason why I haven't played bowls much lately is because I'm focusing my attention and my thoughts on manifesting and creating something successful. So Nevroda, let us know what you think. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Never ask for anything really. I just want to add value and continue to do stuff like this. And on another note, I'm going to be making more videos about more technique in terms of, I'm going to elaborate on the hug the bowl that we're talking about, and the shooter stance and how the intro gets together. And I think we'll start to get into weight control, because I see there's quite a few comments and stuff coming through. So if you haven't done so, share the video, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Hope you get something from it. And most of all, get out there, start to think about what you want, start to stick it up in front of yourself in terms of somewhere where you can see it every day and repeat it. And I promise you, if you do that for a period of time, longer than 30 days, you'll start to see stuff switch for you. So hope you enjoyed it. Peace.